Once upon a time, there was a little thing called GameStop, a one-stop shop for all your video game needs and all your pre-order desires. A place where you could drag your parents on a work night because you wanted the midnight release limited edition Halo Reach copy. Were you gonna go to school the next day? Fuck yeah, you were, because your parents did not understand that you were a gamer first and student second. Actually, who the hell am I kidding? Student just last place out of anything. Grades, who needs those when you can get Master Prestige in Black Ops 2, am I right? Yeah, that GameStop. If you're under the age of 26 at this point, you probably have not heard of this absolute dinosaur of a store. And if you haven't heard of it, I recommend you go to any prehistoric cave. You'll probably find cave drawings of this store from your ancient ancestors. And if you do know about it, it's probably because you pumped that bitch back in 2021 when Deep fucking Value moonshotted that thing to Pluto. Without that glorious 2021 resurgence, this company would have been dead long ago, never to be seen again. Now, I want you to use your brain for a second. Think about this. What real value does GameStop provide? A collection of Funko Pops that rivaled the numbers of the US Army, or maybe the delightful whiff of BO as soon as you walk in through the door, or maybe even their amazing trade-in deals that they have going on. Yes sir, I would like to trade in this brand new unreleased PS6 with a fresh new copy of Resident Evil 16. What can you give me for this? Then they flash you 3 jelly beans, a half-drinking Diet Coke, and a middle finger and say, does this work? Now, what if I were to tell you that this company that we've been talking about, that is riding high off the meme stock push created by Reddit, is trying to buy a company that is valued at 4 times their own value? You'd probably throw your hands in the air like you just don't care and say blasphemy. The numbers, Mason, they just don't make sense.
Who are you people? What do you want from me?
We want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted.
How could they make sense? Well, let me tell you. It is true. GameStop is trying to buy another company that is evaluated at 4 times what their evaluation is. And when I saw the article title that we're going to be looking at together, I just shook my head in awe and kept scrolling because I did think it was actual bullshit. But ladies and gentlemen, we only provide bullshit on this channel sometimes. And when I say there's no bullshit in this video, I mean that. Now you're probably looking at this title telling me to go fuck myself, about to click off the video. But seriously guys, this is legit. It wasn't until my coworker who browses the news daily during his free time told me that GameStop was actually preparing a real life offer for eBay. Yeah, that eBay where you can buy a fucking moldy ass piece of bread for $100 million. Which, quick side note, who the fuck is bidding on this shit? Elon Musk, is that you? You throwing in all 38 bids? I guess dude's trying to launch some moldy ass bread to space. I don't know. Again, I saw this earlier in the day. It was actually like afternoon time or something like that. He mentioned this towards the tail end of the day, but you know, again, I just shrugged it off as complete nonsense, complete bullshit, doohickey, and he confirmed my suspicions towards this. It's legit. And when I heard it was actually legit, the first thing I thought of was, are they going to give them real money? Because there's no way in hell that GameStop actually has money. I see these stores all over the place dropping like flies. Like my hometown GameStop, I just drove past it because I went and played a poker match down there. Ceases to exist. It's not there. It's now like a fucking facial massage place or something. So instead of selling games and Funko Pops or whatever, they're selling happy endings, which actually sounds like a much better business proposal, doesn't it? And wait, who the hell am I kidding? When is the last time you even got a game from GameStop? 2009, Halo 3 ODST, and MW2 maybe. Do those ring a bell? Man, really showing my age in this video, ain't I? Anyways, the next thought that I had was, are they going to give them the deal of the century, a deal that they cannot turn down? $45 billion of in-store credit? Can't turn that down, right? Truly the deal of all deals. Anyways, we're going to swan dive into the article, jump headfirst straight into the poop lagoon, so let's get on it, guys. GameStop is preparing an offer for eBay as CEO Ryan Cohen pursues plans to boost the struggling video game retailer's market value more than tenfold, the Wall Street Journal reported on Friday. Shares of eBay, which has a market capitalization of about $46 billion, soared about 14% in extended trading. GameStop gained 4%. The company has a market value of nearly $12 billion. So there you go. I wasn't too far off when I was saying $45 billion worth of in-store credit, am I right, guys? Because that's the only way that these boys are getting the deal done. And you don't need to be Einstein to see that this is about a 4-to-1 ratio in terms of company value. This is literally just those memes of hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby, or to spice it up a little bit more, black hole versus dying ant. eBay can quite literally just toy with GameStop on this. They can just hit them with one of these moves.
Up and gums at each other. Any chance they get. The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
And the crazy part is that GameStop can't do a damn thing about it. They just have to bend over and take it. Now, I had to do a little bit of research on the CEO of GameStop, dip my toes in the sand a little bit because homeboy sounded familiar, and familiar he was. Apparently, this was the CEO of Chewy. You know, that website where you can get all your pet needs online. Honestly, brilliant company that was. I'm pretty sure it was actually a pretty good company to work for as well. Had a lot of good values and honestly good products all around. Basically putting Petco and PetSmart up against the wall and taking their lunch money. But I could just be blowing shit out of my ass and saying they're a good company when in actuality they weren't. But for some weird reason, he is now the GameStop CEO. And according to my reliable source, aka Wikipedia, it shows that he took over in 2021, which was when the whole GME meme stock thing was going down. It would actually be hilarious if he was one of the guys on Wall Street Bets getting all pumped up to dump his load into GME, saying he's really going to give it to the hedge funds, give them a piece of his mind, hitting them with the why Then he just like buys the company because fuck it. He thinks it's going to keep going to the moon only for it to crash back down to earth. I don't know. But if anyone can actually tell me why this guy left Chewy to pursue a literal triggered hand grenade that is GameStop, that would be great. I would love to know a little bit more. GameStop has been quietly building his stake in eBay's shares ahead of the potential offer, the report said, citing people familiar with the matter. If eBay is not receptive, Cohen could decide to take the offer directly to the e-commerce company's shareholders, the journal says. Details of the potential offer, which could be submitted as soon as later this month, could be learned, the report said. Cohen, the largest investor in GameStop, and the companies did not immediately respond to, and sorry if I butchered this, Rutter's request for comment. A potential deal would upend the usual M&A playbook. It is rare for a public company to target one nearly 4 times its size. Such deals typically rely on heavy debt, stock insurance, or both, banking on future earnings of the combined company to justify the cost. What they forgot to add was the highest trade-in GameStop history. A whopping $86.54 and first dibs to their TCG cards and their Funko Pops. Yeah, that's the deal of the century right there, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some sort of money guru, but I do know my way around $1, and this deal makes absolutely 0 sense in my brain. Given GameStop's size, again, dying ant versus black hole, a literal 4-to-1 ratio here. Now, sadly, it doesn't get into any specifics here when it comes to the stake, but man, I am so curious. How much stock do they own in eBay, and how in the actual tarnation did they even afford any of the stock in the first place? Heavy debt, like the article said, most likely. Maybe they pawned some Funko Pops along the way. Who the hell knows? Maybe we'll see a number later on this month for the offer. Who knows though? These business deals fall flat all the time. Sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't. We'll just see what happens. The billionaire investor who joined the GameStop board in January 2021 and became the CEO in September 2023 has steered the company through a period that saw its return to profitability through aggressive cost cutting. Which, apologies, I mentioned earlier that he was the CEO of the company in 2021, but it looks like he was just a rinky-dinky little board member that took over as CEO in 2023. So that's my mistake. I just kind of read this stuff and react to it in like linear dialogue. So yeah, which actually thinking about it, this really makes me scratch my head a whole lot more because why? Why GameStop? GameStop went up and then crash landed back to Earth harder than the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Why the hell did this guy even join the board and nonetheless take over CEO? For years, GameStop has grappled with disruptions from a pivot to online shopping and digital purchases, forcing it to shutter many of its brick and mortar stores and focus on web-based reinvention. It reported a 14% drop in revenue to $1.1 billion for the holiday quarter. GameStop in January unveiled a compensation package worth roughly $35 billion for Cohen, hinging on a turnaround that requires him to lift the company's market value to $100 billion and hit $10 billion in cumulative performance, EBITDA. My small brain has never heard of this acronym, but I guess it stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. First off, I gotta say, a little story time. Last time I had any sort of engagement with GameStop, it was through their website, and that was actually recently. I wanted another PS5 controller because I wanted to dedicate one towards my PC, but I wasn't about to drop 70 clams on a new one. So I climbed through the cobwebs and I found GameStop and checked their online store, checked if they had any used ones, and guess what? They did. And to my actual surprise, they still sell gaming related shit there, but the only option I had was to pick up in the store, or I could ship it directly to my house with like UPS or something. Which I know, it sounds like a typical online store that also has stores in person, right? But quote me if I'm wrong here, but wasn't that always how their web page worked? Like even back in like 2010, wasn't it always you could pick up in the store or get it delivered via UPS or whatever? Like I swear, back in like 2014 or something, I like ordered something to my house via GameStop. It was some sort of Xbox One game. I think it was like Titanfall or something. Or maybe it was MCC, which by the way, the launch of that game was fucking horrible. Could have been amazing. Halo 3 all over again, man. Could have been perfect. But what the fuck do they mean by this web-based reinvention? Is that just some fancy terminology to say we didn't do shit besides slap a new coat of paint on our website and say we reinvented the company towards an online focus for the sake of the shareholders? You know, axe some stores along the way to make it look like they're actually putting more eggs into this online world. I've seen it a billion times. I work in the corporate garbage world. It happens all the fucking time. Companies changing their name, slapping new coats of paint on their shitty websites, or just consolidating their assets. It's just a bunch of corporate mumbo jumbo to please the stockholders. It's dumb. Anyways, I love the next part because it really shows that they're really gun-hoing hard on that online market with that 14% drop in revenue for the holiday quarter, aka the quarter that you're supposed to be seeing, I don't know, big booms in sales because everybody's buying things. The number is supposed to be in the green, not the red, GameStop. I know that you have some red in your logo, but that's not what we're aiming for here. Now, the last bit of the article is where it really gets interesting, and you know, they always say save the best for last, and that's what this article did. They unveiled that the CEO, the new CEO of GameStop, aka the ex-Chewy CEO, got a compensation package worth $35 billion to uplift the company's market value to $100 billion. So essentially, even if he does raise it to $100 billion, you basically just gave him 35% of that. 35% of that towards the CEO. A guy who probably doesn't do a whole lot, to be completely honest with you. But surprisingly, I think he's doing a fantastic job, with the stock staying very stagnant, producing an amazing Q4 for the people who gave him more money than God, more money than my entire bloodline has ever even seen. Shit, for $35 billion, this guy better be doing deep fucking value levels of green in the market, not hovering in the same place for 3+ years. But with all that being said, I think you all get the gist. Dying ant versus black hole. Truly another dumbass deal of the ages that we can all just sit on the sideline with and just munch on our popcorn while these billionaires throw money around like monkeys in a cage. Anyways, I wanted to drop a quick thank you for all the support on my past videos, guys. It really does mean the world to me to see these videos hit like 1,000, 2,000 views and get so many likes and comments. It's absolutely amazing. It's such a big jump from like my past videos getting like 10, 15 views or whatever, right? It really does give me a lot of satisfaction seeing all that, and it really does push me to make these videos a little bit better than the last one. So thank you if you're a part of that. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And if you're new here, jump on board, go down and hit the sub button, leave a like on the video, share the video, really whatever. I would really appreciate it. I'll leave a few videos on the end screen for you guys to finagle with, and I will see you later. Peace out.